We are here at the Bristol County Superior Court to see if a judge will order Mr. Richard Medeiros to comply with the injunction the town of Westport filed against him. The injunction orders Mr. Medeiros to remove all structures still remaining on the property, cease and desist from using them to house animals, and hire a professional pest control specialist to get rid of the severe rat problem. Are you satisfied with the outcome of the...
Yes, I'm satisfied that the town was able to obtain a preliminary injunction against Mr. Medeiros and the tenant farmers so that they can no longer have any animals or bring any animals to the property and have to remove those animals.
The order will stand that they have to come down.
So the tenants who are just saying, oh, the buildings aren't mine, what will happen to,
well, it's the part that goes after the property owner to take the buildings down, to make the property safer.
So Medeiros will have to take the buildings down even?
That's up to the court, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm moving forward on.
Okay.
The best part of it is that, to my understanding, there will be no animals allowed on the property until this case is resolved. And that's victory.
After being here at the injunction hearing today, I feel personally that the tenants have an attitude problem, that they're gonna, in my opinion, this is just my personal opinion, I feel like they feel they're gonna just walk away from this. They've signed a legal document that was interpreted to them, so they're supposed to understand it, that they're not allowed on the property until the next court hearing, which is gonna, I am assuming, will be a while. My only hope is that they really do stay off the property. They don't start sneaking back in. If we find animals or we hear of animals on the property, we can go right to town council and pull them right back into court. That is the one thing that we did get out of this that I think is a huge victory. That because there's ears all over town and we're working really hard to make sure this doesn't happen again anywhere. But if they go on this property and we find out about it and bring animals or whatever, you bet we're going to report it. People didn't do their jobs. We have seen emails that were sent, documents that were sent. People didn't do their job. MDAR knew in 2015. We've seen the proof.
It's just pass the buck. And there's so little there's so little protection for farm animals anyway. Not here in Massachusetts, across the country, all throughout the world, of course. But, in Massachusetts, we like to think that somehow we have a pretty upstanding state government. But it seems to me that it has completely failed us in this regard. Abysmally. It's just it's mind-boggling how everyone dropped the ball and no one went back and made sure that those animals were okay.
Legally speaking, there has been minimal progress regarding this issue. Months after the 70-acre Westport tenant farm of horrors was discovered, there are still so many unanswered questions and unresolved issues. We have introduced all the players responsible: the property owner, Richard Medeiros, his 20-plus tenant farmers, the Westport Board of Health, the Massachusetts Division of Animal Health, the MSPCA, and most importantly, we've told you about and shown you the heartbreaking images of the victims, in this case, the animals. But one group we have yet to tell you about is arguably one of the most important: the activists. These people who continue to stay involved in this case, fighting for justice and change. The handful of dedicated people have been working relentlessly to help the rescue organizations that saved the animals and bring the deeply rooted issues in the Massachusetts animal welfare system to light.
I'm hoping that we all are able to see this through to the point where we actually do see change that is greatly needed. From the state all the way down to the local levels, we have to ensure that people are doing their jobs.
She also runs the Facebook page, Protest Westport Tenant Farm, along with Roxanne Houghton, where they keep followers up to date with legal proceedings, new documents further incriminating the government officials, and the success stories of some of the animals saved from the farm. The page has over 1,500 followers, and most recently showcased the adoption of a beautiful rabbit that was rescued from the farm of horrors. Ferdinand was taken in by a loving family who made this statement after the adoption. In his 2 years on Earth, he has been through hell. We promise he never has to worry about being abused, neglected, or hungry ever again. We are truly honored to have this survivor come live with us. Another story of survival comes from a family that went above and beyond to open their hearts and home to 7 cows and counting. We are very fortunate for the invitation to visit this farm so we can meet the cows and their loving new family. Despite the state the animals were in when they were first rescued, months later they are still recovering after hundreds of rescue groups and volunteers have given the animals homes. While many of the animals were surrendered by their owners, there were several holdouts, which meant the animals had to be held until all court cases were closed, which could have been months. Thankfully, the ASPCA won a civil case recently which said the group could hold all the owners accountable for the veterinary care and boarding that was paid for the animals. This slapped owners with fees of up to $48,000 to get their animals back and only a 10-day period to pay them. None of the owners stepped forward and paid the fees, allowing the ASPCA to give them new and permanent homes, including this barn, which was specifically constructed to give a number of cows a place to live and recover.
That's Henry. This is Minnie. And this is Quinn. They've been through a lot, these poor little guys. Like, there was 1,200 animals or more. I'm not sure how, 3 or 4 men could have taken care of those animals properly with, because we have, a handful of animals and it takes us, all day and night to be able to take care of them.
Got friends with all of them. All got good personalities. Glad to help them. They're happy, well fed. All went to the dentist.
It's been awesome. I mean, sometimes we come out here and we're like in tears to know that they're so happy and they, from what they've been through, and it's been good. He pushes everybody around. Poor Minnie's always stuck in the middle. She's tiny. And Quinn, she's good all around.
And Minnie was the one that was at Tufts.
Minnie was.
What was she being treated for there?
I think she had transfusions, and I'm not sure. I mean, they were all treated for something. I mean, they had pink eye, they've had, pneumonia, and, they've all had something wrong. But they always rub up against us and play, and they're happy. We took in 7 and a pregnant mom, so they're home. They are.
These animals have been given a second chance at life thanks to the work of activists, the ASPCA, the Animal Rescue League of Boston, and over 100 other animal rescue organizations who so graciously gave them homes all over the country. The activists are still at work trying to ensure accountability and change in the animal welfare system across the state. As we have stated, this is identified as the biggest animal cruelty case in the history of the Northeast, costing animal welfare agencies over $2 million to reconcile. Greenleaf continues to urge that Michael Cahill, the director of the Massachusetts Division of Animal Health, be held accountable for letting this horrible abuse happen for a second time on his watch.
I won't let this go until we see that people have been held accountable. And I continue to be amazed at what we've uncovered in terms of just the lack of accountability. There's just no way for this system to work. It's broken completely. It needs to be revamped. We just can't seem to get a politician to care about this. We need legislation, we need change.
She says we must push to make a change in the way our state treats farm animals. Something needs to be done immediately to prevent farms from becoming nothing short of animal concentration camps. As the animals rescued from the farm continue to heal, change is happening very slowly in the town of Westport. Tensions are still boiling in the small beach town as citizens try to figure out how to keep all of this from happening all over again.
If the town administrative agencies, Board of Health, building inspections, selectmen, that have the power don't put a stop to this, it is absolutely going to happen all over again for the 3rd time. Detective Majewski said. Do you have any response to how we can have 2 different departments in our town so divided in a difference of opinion of what the power is to happen to stop this from continuing? Because it's a whole...
Detective Majewski went rogue on this. He was in a
rogue.
meeting with us. He discussed the health plans.
A little more road.
Yeah, we need more.
So are you calling him a liar?
No, I'm calling him rogue.
The Board of Health cannot act on any complaints without a written complaint on our file. A letter was written to Mr. King on August 25th by the police department. We received this letter last Thursday.
Correct.
Why is it that it took 2 months before we even received and saw this letter so that we could legally respond?
We're not going to argue about.
So embarrassing for our town. So embarrassing.
Part of the problem, Bill.
I'm part of the problem.
You're
You're part of the
Next
problem.
question, please.
You both are part of the problem. Resign.
This is the problem, right.
In July, when they went up to that site, they knew there was rats already.
Ma'am?
Nothing but cleaned up.
I'm not proud of how long this has taken, but there's nobody here that is not doing their job. We're moving at a pace that some people are not happy with, but this is the way things move.
You obviously understand we're all extremely frustrated. I understand that things are done behind the scenes because they have to, but you don't really have to expect us to like it. I mean, we would appreciate, if possible, maybe a little bit more transparency, just a little.
I don't want to put pressure on a local police department, but I am putting pressure on a local police department to the point where my chief actually hung up on me. And that's never happened before, okay? And I'm putting pressure on our town administrator because of our attorney general and what I feel is a lack of response. I know there are a lot other issues that they see, but I would hope that this would be a bit more timely, that our attorney general's office could respond one way or the other, because it allows us to take action after that.
Fred Pont was hired as the town's new animal inspector after increased outrage at Coletti and Santos serving as the inspectors. After just 2 weeks, he resigned. In those 2 weeks, Pont went to many farms in Westport, and every single one of them had violations. It was stated at a Board of Selectmen meeting that he didn't feel he could adequately do his job, as there are over 200 farms that needed inspection. A clearly overwhelming and neglected situation. Since Pont's resignation, Animal Control Officer Donna Lambert was given back her title of Animal Inspector, and a team of 4 people with previous farming knowledge and experience in handling animal welfare to aid her in her duties. While this appointment has drawn applause from animal welfare proponents, it is only one small and fundamental step in overhauling a local system that was grossly negligent. At the state level, however, absolutely nothing has been done to address this inexcusable situation. There are no answers as to why the MDAR and the MSPCA walked away from sick and dying animals in 2015, and no answers as to how and why the horrible history was allowed to repeat itself. As it stands 6 months later, the Attorney General's office, which is said to be reviewing the case and over 35,000 pieces of documented evidence, has made no move in holding the responsible parties accountable.
The fact that we have had no charges brought to anyone, and we're 6 months in, is quite troubling. I think we're all starting to get a little nervous, because if we have to face the fact that people are going to walk away once again from this horrible tragedy without any consequences, I just don't know if I can live with that. This is going to be a long fight.
We just keep following it, and we do every piece of what we can do, and we keep asking questions, and we keep showing up to Board of Selectmen's meeting and to Board of Health's meeting, and we follow every minutia of it. And it's a real education, because none of us knew anything about this prior to this case, but it opens your eyes and you cannot shut them again.
The Attorney General's office has jurisdiction over everybody. So my hope would be those that had their hand in any manner, shape, or form with the abuse of these animals, or turning their back and they didn't see this, or they didn't want to get involved. My hope is that the Attorney General's office, in their case, is going to get them. Because those animals couldn't talk. And they were tortured. People deserve to pay for that. Every single one of them. Period.